Ladies and gentlemen, followers of Two Wheels Paradise, it's another beautiful day that we gather here in our usual class where we learn a lot about motorcycles. My name is Meshak as usual, and today I want to answer a question that has been asked a lot of times by you viewers, and I'm going to talk about it in the simplest way possible, in the shortest time possible. So don't skip this video, please learn with me all the way to the end. You're gonna learn something very important. And the question is, why some motorcycle rims come with these things that look like wires? Why do we have these wires and some other motorcycles don't have them? What's the difference? Why should a motorcycle have these wires? Why should others not have them? When should you need them? When should you not need them? That's the question we want to answer today. What is the importance of these wires you see here? Learn with me all the way to the end. You're gonna learn something today. In the world of motorcycles, we have like 10 different categories of motorcycles, and all of them are designed for different purposes. Okay? We have motorcycles that we call off-road bikes, and we have another category we call dirt bikes. All of them are supposed to be used in the forests, but differently. We have another category of motorcycles we call adventure motorcycles. We have super bikes, we have cafe racers, we have cruisers, scramblers, we have sport touring. Yeah, we have so many categories of motorcycles. They are made differently to deliver power differently because they are supposed to be used on different terrains for different purposes. We have motorcycles that are supposed to be used on the racetrack, super sports. We have others that are supposed to be used for racing in the forest, motocross. All of them are racing, but different situations, different environments, and they are made different. So the question about these wires is, why should a motorcycle come with rims that look like this? And what's the difference between this and the normal rims that we know, the alloy rims? Look, these wires, as many as they are the whole system that holds the rim together. This is the rim. This is what we call the rim. This is the hub. Can you see this? This is the hub. This thing, it's called the hub. This is the brake. These are the shocks. And this is the shaft that holds everything together. In here we have bearings. Okay, we have bearings, and this is the nozzle that we use to pump air into the wheel. Now, the reason why we have some motorcycles coming with these wires, we call them spokes. They are called spokes. The other design of rim is called alloy rim or the chrome, and these are called spokes. These wires are used on off-road motorcycles. I want you to take time and think about this. All the motorcycles that you know designed to be used in the forests, motorcycles that are supposed to take you across rivers, okay? Motorcycles that are supposed to be used away from the highways, they all come with these things. All of them, they all come with these things. And it is because these things are durable. They are durable. This is metal. These are metal wires. Very, very strong kind of metal. And because they are many, and you can see the thickness is just something small, they have something we call tensile strength. They are very, very strong when it comes to absorbing impact. If you are landing through some Malam road and you're hitting rocks at high speed, these wires tend to bend in micrometers. Something very small. They bend very little. But because they are many, the little bend from one wire to the other one, to the other one, to the other one, is a combination of some shock absorption. They absorb the tension that comes with landing through rough terrain. So these things are going to absorb shock. They are going to absorb impact without breaking, because they have the slight bend. Right now, if you shake them, they are so tight. They are so tight, but they are only as tight as your hands can grab. If you grab them with something stronger than your hands, your bare hands, you will realize they bend. You will realize they can bend slightly. And that slight bending is what makes them durable, because they rarely break. Unless you hit something so serious. Small impact on Malam roads and some forests, crossing rivers, potholes on the highway, they rarely break. Rarely break. They combine to make something very, very strong. Because when one wire is bending, the other one is ready to bend next. So when the impact hits on one edge of the tire, like you're riding and you hit a pothole, the wires close to where you hit the pothole are going to bend and then expand again. Okay? So what they are going to do is they will protect the whole rim from crashing. They will protect the whole wheel from crumbling and losing shape. What chrome rims do, the other ones, the alloy rims, what they do is they do not have the capacity to bend even a little. They don't. They are so rigid, they do not have that capacity to bend. And because of that, they take the impact as a whole. You see, if this one gets hit by something on this edge, the wires around here will take the impact, but the others will not. But the alloy rim takes impact, the whole of it. And that is the reason why they usually break. If you hit a pothole so hard, alloy rims are going to break. But these ones will survive. And even if you lose one of them, because you might hit something so hard and then one wire bends a little more than necessary and then it breaks, you're only going to lose one wire or two. Most of the times they come as 36. A lot of motorcycles have supposed to be a 32 to 36 per rim, like 36 of them. So even if you lose one, you can be very sure you're going home. But if you break a chrome rim, an alloy rim, you are done. You'll have to look for a way of carrying that motorcycle home. Something else, when you see a motorcycle with these things, it tells you that there is a tube in here. The pressure is not in between the rim and the tire. The pressure is carried by another object in here. We have a tube, a rubber tube, that is inserted between the rim and the tire, and it is the one holding this gadget. This gadget is not on the tire and it is not on the rim. It is protruding. See, we even have a small nut here to hold it tight to the rim because it is not part of the rim. It is not part of the rim. This one is part of the tube. We have a tube in here. Okay? Because if you put air directly into the space between the tire and the rim, air is going to escape through these gaps. Definitely we have small gaps here. We have small gaps here. Air is going to escape through those gaps. So what happens is we have a rubber tube in here, which is also an advantage for people who go off-road. It is easier to repair. If you get a puncture, maybe you run over some nail, it is trapped in between these threads. It is going to penetrate through the tire, penetrate through the tube, and then we are going to lose air because of a small hole, a pinhole, a nail hole, or whatever you run over. It is very easy to get that tube out of here. Just put some, we have some repair kit. Yeah, we have some stuff that are supposed to repair the tube. We have smaller patches that you just patch the tube, some glue. There is that whole process of repairing a puncture, and then you return the tube in here, find a way of getting pressure through the nozzle, and then you are good to go. But if you are running on alloy rims, you do not have a tube. Alloy rims don't run with tubes. You can put it if you want, but that is an extra. It is not necessary. So what happens is, if you get a puncture, it becomes complicated to repair. Becomes somehow complicated to repair, because repairing a puncture on tubeless tires requires some special gadgets, and not everybody have them out there. But if you're having a rim like this one has a tube in here. If you run to the forests and get a puncture, you just need to find someone in that village who knows how to repair tubes, and you're good to go. It doesn't matter which motorcycle you have, whether you have a KTM, a BMW, whatever you have, if it has a tube, someone in the village will have an idea of how to patch it and get you back on the road. But if you have some tubeless tires and you do not have the repair kit yourself, then you're doomed. You are finished. The biggest risk is that the alloy rims do crack if you take them through rough terrain. If you hit potholes with sport bikes, you can be very sure you are buying another rim. If this rim gets hit by a pothole so hard that it loses chip, you can return it back to factory settings locally just by getting someone who knows how to align them, get new wires. Just there's a whole process of getting that rim back on the road. But if an alloy rim is hit and it loses chip, it is done. And alloy rims are expensive. Alloy rims are expensive. So the reason why we have these things is for durability. If you see any motorcycle with these things, it tells you there's a durable motorcycle you can take anywhere you want. Anywhere you want. It doesn't matter that the road is full of rocks. Whether it is a river crossing, you can be very confident to use a motorcycle with spokes anywhere. But if you're landing on alloy, you better be very careful on what you're doing. We have some companies with very, very strong alloy rims like Suzuki. The adventure motorcycle called the Suzuki V-Strom, the old models, used to come with alloy rims, and they are very, very heavy motorcycles. Very heavy. But if you look at the value of that rim, in case you destroy yours, it is going to cost you half the cost of that motorcycle. Quite expensive. Okay, it's quite expensive, and they can break. Those ones are quite strong, but at some point they can break, and if they break or they crack, you're finished. If that rim gets hit by something like a pavement and then you chip it a little bit here, you are going to lose air, because that is going to be like a puncture. If you hit a pavement or something with this one, you are not going to lose air, because air is not between the rim and the tire, it is inside a rubber tube. So unless you get the rubber tube punctured, there is no chance of you losing air. That is why these wheels are more durable and they are preferred for off-road motorcycles, because when you are riding off-road, anything can go wrong. You can hit a lock very, very easily, and then you are going to bend your rim a little bit. Sometimes you don't even realize that your rim is bent until you get back to the highway and you feel the motorcycle wobbling. That's the time you realize you hit your rim. But if you're hitting that rim and it is an alloy rim, you don't even need rocket science to know that you are doomed. You don't need rocket science to know that you are doomed. So now, I think I have answered the question. Spoke wheels are for durability and flexibility when it comes to absorbing choke, absorbing impact, and they are used on off-road motorcycles. So if you see a motorcycle coming from the factory with wheels like this, you just have to respect it and take it to where it is supposed to be used, off the highway. My name is Meshach. Continue asking those questions. Whatever I can do, I promise I will. See you around Two Wheels Paradise, and God be with you. Remember to subscribe. I value, really value your company. You have made this channel a success, and I really thank God for that. So see you in the next video, and stay safe.